And so, once again, Little Tree became the popular landmark on the hilltop, with travelers on the road always stopping to rest in his shade. The birds nested in his branches and small animals played about his trunk. Little Tree was happy again. Yet, in spite of his own happiness, there was a strange tension in the air which told him that all was not well through the land. He would often see groups of men arguing furiously among themselves.
How foolish men are sometimes. Why can't everybody be happy as I am? Just enjoying life and glad to be alive.
Then, one day, several men with axes and saws stopped before Little Tree. Their faces were hard and unsmiling, but he didn't notice, for he was too excited. At last, he was to be made into something.
Wow, I wonder what I'll be. A house? Or a cart? Or maybe even a great palace.
The men looked at Little Tree from all sides, then began to work. But instead of setting their saws in his trunk as he thought they would, one man climbed into his branches and sawed off one of his biggest limbs. They hacked away the small branches from the limb and hauled it off with them. Little Tree was bewildered. He couldn't imagine what the men would do with just one limb.
Now I suppose I will never know what they're going to do with my big branch.
But a few days later, Little Tree saw a great procession coming along the road toward his hill. There were many soldiers and hundreds of men and women. He watched them closely as they approached the crest of the hill. As they drew nearer, he was able to see them all plainly. The bark about his trunk stiffened. One glance told him what the men had done with his limb.
It's a cross. My branch was made into a cross.
And there, struggling to carry the heavy cross, was the man with the kind face. Little Tree could hardly believe his eyes. He saw the man stumble and fall time after time under the weight of the cross, but no one offered to help him. Instead, they threw stones and made fun of him. Little Tree turned his eyes away. He couldn't stand to watch any longer. But after a while, he had to turn and look again to see what the crowd had done to the man. By then, the procession had reached the top of a neighboring hill. There, Little Tree saw the people set up 3 crosses, and on one of them, they nailed the man with the kind face. The man called Jesus.
Why? What could he possibly have done to deserve this? All he did was save my life. All he did was be my friend, and then mend my broken heart so that I could smile again. Now they've taken him away, and I just can't understand why they've treated him this way. Oh, they must not know this man. No, they must not know this man called Jesus. He's so gentle, he's so kind. What could he